of Gaza 2030, as it's been called?
Well, it's a really remarkable pamphlet, 91 pages. It has a vision of Gaza that looks like any mall in Dubai or Doha. It's a wonderful document. But it's also something that I'm not sure is really a serious plan because it does dodge the two biggest questions. One, would Hamas ever agree to the political preconditions for making this grand vision a reality? Two, would the Israelis ever agree to allowing the kind of political settlement, a unified Palestinian Authority back in Gaza that would really contradict Prime Minister Netanyahu's clearest strategic objective, which is keeping the Palestinian Authority divided between Hamas in Gaza and the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. So it's a big, beautiful plan, as President Trump would say, but it's also got some real obstacles to becoming reality.
Indeed. So let's dig into some of the details here. First of all, as you say, the proposal sidelines Hamas and calls for a transitional authority under the umbrella of the Palestinian Authority. Of course, Hamas still controls what remains of Gaza, and the PA has very little political credibility and even legitimacy. So is this governance structure actually going to work not only on the ground in Gaza, but for Israel and the White House as well?
I think that's really the key question. It's hard to see how you can move toward a post-Hamas reconstruction Gaza without dealing with Hamas, in particular, without trying to disarm Hamas. But Hamas has stated that that's a red line, right? So how are you going to get to there? One way to do that would be for Gaza to be offered an alternative arrangement, like the Arab League proposal has, in which outside groups, countries from around the region would supply humanitarian aid, would allow for political reconstruction. But those are exactly the sorts of things that the Israeli government is not letting take place right now. So the proposal has a 5-year plan for moving toward reconstruction. But right now, on the ground, folks are trying to get to the second phase of the current ceasefire. So I think that this is a big political statement about where the region's governments are. It's a major alternative to the U.S. proposal, but it's also something that you should view as the first step in what's going to be a lengthy and protracted battle over trying to arrange the possibility for the reconstruction of Gaza.
Of course, the other question is, where is the money going to come from? This proposal calls for $53 billion for Gaza's reconstruction, but in the blueprint, it doesn't specify exactly who's going to foot the bill. So what guarantees do we need to see coming forward now to secure this funding, and where do you think the bulk of this cash is actually going to come from?
My guess is that the bulk of the cash would have to come from the richest countries in the region. Of course, that's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that's Qatar, places that have signaled their interest in being a part of reconstructing Gaza, in helping to build a Palestinian Authority that will be a more productive, prosperous, safer place. But before you can get any donor to be involved, you have to have guarantees that the money they put in, the facilities they build, the humanitarian assistance they give, that it won't just be subject to a new round of fighting. And that is why, for obvious reasons, you have to have the Israelis in on the proposal, and you also have to have a way to deal with Hamas to guarantee safety and security going forward. So I think that there is a possibility that the money is there. $53 billion is a lot. You spread that over 5 years, you could find donors to make this work. But you really have to have the political preconditions to make this work, and that's going to be the toughest thing to happen.